Okay, so I have no idea what episode this is going to be. It all depends on if I'm able to film something else tonight. So just to keep up with the pace, I'm trying to do at least 1.5 episodes per week, sometimes 2. So anyway, so welcome to episode 27. Welcome to episode 28. Welcome to episode 29. Of low tide. I have no idea how I'm going to edit that. Welcome to low tide. I had like zero intention on watching Star Trek Lower Decks. The trailers for it looked obnoxious. Basically, if you take Star Trek and cross it with, let's do this properly. If you take Star Trek and mix it with Rick and Morty and Zoomer bullshit, you end up with Lower Decks. So you get people doing this like awkward movement and all these kind of cartoons where they move like really fast. And they talk really fast, and they talk like this, and they hold a different direction. Then they make another gesture, and they move over here, and then they move over here, and everything bounces around. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Rick and Morty, or if it's Lower Decks, or if it is some of that Steven Universe, whatever's on Nickelodeon now. You see this sort of stuff on Pixar. It's just like a bunch of people talking really fast and then bouncing around, in like weird, awkward movements. And that's not humor. That's the kind of thing you want to do if you want to entertain a toddler. And so I watched like the first episode of Lower Decks, and within every 15 minutes there seems to be like some major action set piece, and they'll check off like some of the tropes of Star Trek, but it's really just to go from one action set piece to the next action set piece to the next action set piece. And if you watch Star Trek Discovery, and if you watch Star Trek Picard, it's like all they've done is like they've turned them into action series, and they've really reduced like the ideas from the concept. Like Star Trek is about ideas. It's not about action. And it strikes me that whoever, if it's Kurtzman, if Kurtzman is responsible for this, shut up. It's like if Kurtzman is responsible for this, or if it's just simply CBS that's responsible for this. It's like they saw what J.J. Abrams did. They watched some of the movies and some clips on YouTube and made their series off of it. And that includes Lower Decks. Lower Decks, it's all bullshit. And, Star Trek, there for a while was my life, until, what was it? Insurrection. And season 13 of season 3 of Enterprise. So you come up to those sort of hiccups, Star Trek's already been in trouble. So now you get Star Trek. Now you get people that are trying to get Star Trek to behave not like Star Trek. It's about ideas. Star Trek is a post-scarcity society. Like capitalism and things like that. Don't really apply anymore unless like you're Ferengi or something like that. And that's a completely different.
In a world where the world is searching the world for someone to save the world, there is only one in the whole world that has this world on a string.
Okay, Charlie, I'm in. What now?
Soon I will take over their planet with my army of plants.
So there's been this movie that I've seen talked about on the internet for the past year or two. This weird concept of a comedy called Unbelievable. In fact, I kept, they would talk about the movie and then it would disappear and talk. So I completely forgot about even the title until I saw like an advertisement that was going to be on Prime. So anyway, it's new zany comedy starring 40 actors from the Star Trek franchises. And, I went in it with a lot of trepidation. I don't watch a lot of movies anymore. And so, I do my writing, I've been, wanting to become more of an author by trade, and I do my writing and it's like I've completely forgot the language of watching a TV series or a movie, like everything just seems to be more in the background. And I get nervous watching a movie now. I get nervous watching a TV show now because like I go in as soon as I start it, I like have like this, R-word moment. Am I going to understand it? It's like I've completely, like neglected, film language. For more written word or more documentarian talk show type stuff. So like I'll go into a movie now and I'll go in trepidations like, Matt, am I going to even understand it? Am I even going to keep track? It's like, this is like an old age type thing. But, it's, something like, unbelievable, it's like it puts my mind at ease because it's literally one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. The whole concept is there's a base on the moon, and total contact with the moon has been shut down. So the American government sends off some astronauts to go and see what the hell's going on, why contact is suddenly ended, and that's the basic premise. And then there's a whole bunch of frivolous, non-connected bullshit that goes all the way around it. And I'll just get down to the nitty-gritty. The three main characters, and there's four main characters, but there's really three. Well, 3.5. You have I'm sorry if that interrupted your work here. I'm talking to the microphone. Oh God. There's Tim Russ, who played Tuvok on Star Trek Voyager. Garrett Wang, who played I'm gonna lose my nerd credit over this. The ensign that never got promoted on Star Trek Voyager, and God, what's her name? The actress that played Lita on Deep Space Nine. They played the three main astronauts, and then from there, their captain is Captain Kirk Stillwell, who is a marionette. Most of you would immediately look at this and think Team America, but that was more of an homage to Thunderbirds Are Go. And I forget who plays it, but anyway. They address it a little bit, but like realistically, he's the captain. And the way they use it is somewhat amusing at times. But then the movie veers off in all this like weird shit. And like all these, it's like they got so many different actors and so many different extras that have been in Star Trek in one form or another. And then some other actors that have been, that have, famous faces that have been one way or another. Here, I'll just here's 1, 2, 3 as an example of non-Star Trek. Tons of names in this stuff. And so they got like all this bullshit surrounding around. And none of it's funny. It's just like these stupid ideas that they keep throwing out. Yeah, like one of the big idea is that everyone on Earth is turning into plants, and somehow it involves Snoop Dogg. It's stupid. It's so stupid. And it's not even fun. And then it's like I looked around in this, and like it's got some great it's got some like good elements in there mixed in. It's like Robert Picardo. You could just have Robert Picardo stand and not do anything, and he's hilarious. And then you have like all these other people. You have Nichelle Nichols. But like none of it makes any sense. But there's a little bit of a decent grasp at sci-fi tropes and different, sci-fi elements throughout the years. Less Star Trek related, more B-movie, like Z-grade serial type stuff, but that's okay. But it's really stupid. And like, the director, I looked the director up on IMDb. I think his name is Steve Fawcett or Sean Fawcett. We'll just call him Mr. Fawcett. He's only like directed like a couple things, and it'd be okay if he was a younger kid. But if you look at his picture, he's been around for a while. So is this a guy who's never made a movie before? Did he just suddenly come into to some money? Is this like a vanity project? His wife plays like 4 or 5 characters in there, but it's as if somebody came into a lot of money and decided to remake Airplane 2 in their backyard. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Some of it works, I guess. There's like a scene where you have Jeffrey Combs having a screaming match with Phlox and Quark, and they're screaming at each other over who's a cheating hussy or something like that. And then you got some other sight gags that kind of work, I guess. But overall, it's really fucking stupid. It's really fucking stupid. And then you have, here's the elements that work. The 3 astronauts and the marionette. That sort of stuff, if the movie had focused on that and had, really just, developed those characters. Tim Russ is excellent. Tim Russ is absolutely excellent. Garrett Wang is excellent. And, God, I'm going to keep forgetting her name. This is so sexist to me. The girl who plays Lita. she's excellent. They have great chemistry together. And like the marionette, I bought that he was alive. So like if it had focused more on that storyline and less of the frame narrative stuff, I think that the movie would have really, actually been something. But it just goes all over the place, and it's stupid. It's so stupid. And, yeah, what else? I had something else I was going to add to this, but like I really don't have much else to say. It's one of these movies that that there's going to be a blooper reel during the credits, and that's going to take up like 10 minutes of time. I shut it off, man. I tuned a lot of this movie out. But yeah. I mean, like, okay, my final thoughts. There's decent elements in here. I think that this is a vanity project. It feels like a vanity project. I don't want to, that's what it feels like. It feels like a vanity project. Somebody's got a little bit of money. And, it has the bright idea, I'll have all these Star Trek actors, and like the money is baked right in. I'll make a ton of money off of it. That's what it comes off like. There's a nice little scene between Nichelle Nichols and Snoop Dogg towards the end. And, one thing I'll tell you about Snoop Dogg, he's not an actor. He's not an actor. He doesn't even really have what I would say comedic timing. But I will tell you this, is that he's a little bit fearless. In fact, I think that if you were to push him, that he'd easily, be able to work outside of his comfort zone. Outside of being Snoop Dogg, because I saw glimmers of that. But yeah, there was a nice little moment between Nichelle Nichols and him. But man, I'm glad it's like 104 minutes, but it took me all afternoon to watch it. So anyway, let's zoom out. So I guess that is unbelievable. That is unbelievably wretched. But I'll tell you this. Let's take this movie and compare it to what we're seeing. Take this movie and compare it to what we're seeing on CBS All Access. And I will tell you that as incompetent as Unbelievable seems, it runs circles around every Star Trek property that CBS All Access has. And I keep getting some messages in my spam. It's like, oh, we'll give you a free month to come back. I'm not going to do it. I'm done. I've done this before. And I deleted it. Last year, I was going to write an article on my site, Rude Planet, that it was going to be an open letter to Viacom, CBS, Paramount, just imploring them to really just try to break out from this traditional mold, this gatekeeping of franchises. Now is the time to really step up and stop listening to your lawyers and stop listening to standards and practices. You need to really reinvent the mold, because clearly you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. And my appeal to CBS, Viacom, CBS, Paramount, is to, or whoever owns it now, I don't know, really figure out how to monetize fan content. If you go look around, Tim Russ of Voyager and the movie we just discussed, even directed a fan film. I think it was called Gods and Monsters, something like that. It looked cheap, but the heart was there. There's a Star Trek series, a web series that used the original sets and new actors, but original sets, music, and stories. What is it called? The Journey Continues, or whatever that is. It's beautiful. CBS shut that down. What was it? Renegades? You know, they changed things up a little bit. The whole Axonar scenario that everybody shut down. Look, 1,000% better than anything you were going to do with Discovery and anything you were going to do with Picard. You don't know what you're doing. Get rid of Kurtzman. Forget the remakes. Forget JJ and go back to basics. Bring back Bergman if you have to. Get back to basics. Because you know what? There's legions of fans. There's legions of us that want Star Trek. If you can't do that, figure out how to monetize fan content because they're doing a better job than you. I don't know if it means developing a new platform or what, but figure out how to monetize it. Figure out how to pay them. Do you realize that if you brought the fans into this and, you know, let loose, let them loose, let them create the content for you, you'd beat Star Wars. And trust me, Star Wars is kicking your ass, and Star Wars sucks. So, anyway, that's my nerd rant for the day, and that's probably the last I'm going to talk about Star Trek. Just simply because I've been disappointed one too many times, and I know I'm not alone. Just figure it out. You don't have to do it anymore. You don't have to inject money into garbage. You're making Star Trek for people who don't want Star Trek. People who want Star Trek are leaving, and they're not coming back. Okay, that's the last time I'm going to talk about it. So, I may or may not do another episode tonight, but I definitely need to do more this week. So, thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe, click like, and share. And what may be a couple days for you is going to be moments for me. So I'll talk to you soon.